Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Play Diablo 3. And last time we managed to get all the way to the larder, and then I had to cut the video off. But now that we are, back, we can learn a new, not a new skill, but a new rune for our skill. And Convergence is probably one of the more useful ones for Disintegration Ray, or Disintegrate, or whatever the skill's called. Because it basically widens the beam, allowing you to hit more enemies. It's exactly what it says, but it widens it to a point where it's actually kind of useful. Before, it just wouldn't hit enough enemies to take enough of them out for my tastes. Now, it's actually somewhat useful. So, there's that. Most of the Hydra upgrades, I was looking at them off screen there, pretty much they just change the element and either increase the damage or add, in this case they add poison, or this one again lowers the damage from what we had with lightning, but it adds frost, which could be beneficial. And that one finally drops your HP back, or your damage back up.
The charm spell, and Sister Lysa was fawning over me for a fortnight. It was mortifying.
Really, game? That's your bullshit line when you just sit around long enough. I shake my head at that one. Anyway, now did I change my gear? I don't think I did. No, I think I did all that on screen. Anyway, I rearranged the order of my skills to better suit me now that I have all 4 slots. And now we can continue on to the larder. Find out, see if we can close this breach that has happened here. Whoa.
The demon.
Dark.
He's here.
Misty and weird.
The one who killed Lord Belial. I will saber, tearing the flesh from your bones.
Well now, that was gross. What is wrong with this game? This is Gome, and what he does is he releases this poison mist stuff here. He also has a belching attack, and this will spawn little acid slimes, which we obviously want to avoid. Now, he's really slow, so that's going to be your key to defeating him. He's going to lob those. As you can see, my beam is much wider now, and it can do quite a bit more damage. Poison resistance, of course, will be a great idea for this fight, and avoid those guys whenever possible because they do some decent amount of damage. If you hover in this stuff long enough, let's see if I can go find a spot that's not going to disintegrate. Yeah, my regeneration is high enough to counteract it, but this will decrease your life quite quickly, so you're definitely going to want to avoid it. But that's all for him.
I can barely breathe down here.
Yeah, somehow that doesn't surprise me. I don't need potions. What do I need those for?
An empty victory over a useless tool. You have only delayed your inevitable destruction. Your walls have grown no stronger. Our assault continues unabated. The stone will still be mine.
Well, let's see. We haven't strengthened the walls, but we started filling the holes with the bodies of your fallen demons. I think that's a step in the right direction. And let's talk to, if I can click properly.
Terrifying noises were coming from the armory, so Tyrael went to investigate. He said if you were to return, I should send you there.
Alright, and a little minor quest down here. Head back down to the armory.
I am losing control.
That's not good. And at this point, she's weakened, and we get these terror spawns. These guys hurt. I'm way over leveled and over geared for this point, and still, they hurt a lot. Now, before you talk to Leah here, you'll want to talk to, like, if you're trying to get every piece of dialogue, you'll want to talk about all of the stuff that she has here, because this will be the last. Actually, I don't think it's the last for you. It might be the last for Tyrael. Either way, this is the time before talking to her, talk to everyone else and get all their dialogue, if you so desire.
The soul stone seems stable now.
The demon's rage has been subdued. Yes, but for how long? Our time grows short. We must take this fight to Asmodan.
I will fight my way across the battlefields and descend into Ariat Crater, where he hides.
How do we know he hides there?
Can you feel the keep shuddering? Asmodan's siege weapons. Saving these walls will have meant nothing if they're reduced to rubble.
I will destroy Asmodan's ballistae, so that the keep may be safe.
We will not fail you, Seraph.
No, I guess you can continue to talk to them. I don't know.
I
I remember
thought I
that was
was
an
going to die
important
when I-
point before. I always used to talk to her right away and I wouldn't be able to talk to somebody. Maybe it was you're supposed to come and talk to her before this quest initiates, having to come down here to get all of Leah's dialogue before that. I don't know. I'm sure you can check it on the Diablo wiki. It's not that difficult to figure out. But there are resources out there for that purpose. This is not one of them. Now that we've accomplished this, we need to head to the Ariat Gate. And more
I have
cinematics.
saved Bastion's keep.
Well,
It is
not
time
really.
to leave the confines of the keep and take the fight to Asmodan's war machines upon the open fields.
Now, with mention of a war machine, you'd think I would have been not too lazy and put in a clip from Iron Man. Well, I didn't really like the movie, and I'm too lazy to search the TV series. I think he showed up in the Spider-Man TV series from the 90s.
Lords of Hell will be a mere memory.
Thank the gods you're here. You've got to destroy those ballistae. They're raining hell down upon us. We can't last much longer.
Here's a dungeon that's always here, the Barracks. I believe it's a 2-level dungeon, and there's a reasonable amount of stuff you can do in there. However, I'm trying to show you how to run through quickly, and while it's a good dungeon for leveling up at this point, there's no other real reason to go there. And more demons. Ooh, item. It'll be useless. Now, here, there's a chance to spawn a rare dungeon, and it did not spawn. Oh well. Crider's Outpost. I don't remember if I've done this one yet. Believe I have. Okay, I have explored this one, but since, you know, there's some interesting stuff here, let's just take out enemies real quick. Hey, look at that, I got a rare item for that. Not that a quill shot is all that useful to me personally, but let's open that up. I could continue to explore this, but there really isn't a lot of point. Basically, it's a small little dungeon from what I remember, and all it does is give you some items, guys to kill, and that's pretty much it. You can go around as long as you need to, if you want to. Personally, I'm not going to stay in here much longer. There is a dungeon that can spawn around this area that contains, well, will rarely contain a certain enemy, or not a certain enemy. Enemies out here. It will contain a merchant, rarely. And if it does contain this merchant, he's the only merchant in the entire game to sell a certain type of item, and there's an achievement for getting, you know, buying one of every type of item from a merchant. And it's either a barbarian mighty belt or it's a monk-only piece of equipment. I can't recall which. At least I think that's what it is. Anyway, there's pretty much nothing to this area. There's not much here. So
Bridge is unsteady.
continue, go here,
Be swift.
head across the bridge, and we'll be able to get to the very large ballistae. Ballistae, however the hell you want to pronounce it. They pronounce it weird, as far as I'm concerned. And here, there'll be 3 of the ballistae that you're supposed to take out. I'm just going to pronounce it like that because it seems more natural to me. And the way it works is this area will go all the way up to about here, and there'll be an area to the side there, and an area to the side there, and then usually you won't be able to move in the middle. So there should be 2 on one side and 1 on the other. Very rarely will you get all 3 on the same side. Now, here we have the Frost Caverns, and this is believe this is the right one anyway. Here there is a randomly spawned, won't always be there, randomly spawned rare guy. I think his name is in purple text, and he has a chance of dropping one of the other items for Whimsyshire. So that's an option there, should you know, want to get all the pieces for that. I'll probably show off, you know, me picking up all the pieces, or at least most of the pieces, afterward, or at least show you the enemy that's involved in this case. In other situations, I may just show you where the dungeon is. You know, I've showed you approximately where the dungeon is. Whoa, weird lag. But, you know, I haven't actually gone into most of these areas to pick them up because they haven't been there when I've tried to go through the area. So yeah, you destroy the ballistae, and usually that's going to spawn a bunch of enemies. These guys are probably one of the more annoying enemies in the entire game. They spawn little pools of venom. Now, let's see if I can find myself another one. And I killed them. Yeah, see, these guys, they'll bury their claws in the ground. Eventually. There you go. And this does a lot of damage. Not right now, but you definitely want to take these guys out very, very quickly, because they will hurt you, and it's not a lot of fun to deal with.
Didn't see that coming, did you?
Now there's always some junk in the middle that makes it so you can't go through, so we're going to continue up the left side over here. Spawn some Hydra, take care of you. Now, there's always this guy in the middle. And, ouch! So you definitely want to take that out as well. It's another piece that we're supposed to destroy. I can't remember why, but it is there. So let's, is there any more up here? I don't think there are. Nope. We're at the top of the area, by the way. Alright, some more items, which, again, probably don't need them, but oh well. So let's, might as well, we have to go down here and take this out anyway, so let's do it now. More enemies to slaughter. There are a lot of enemies in Act 3, there really are. Doesn't matter what you're doing, you know, there's always going to be a lot of enemies in the way. And I clicked on the wrong spot. There, distract those guys.
This trebuchet is an abomination. We must destroy it.
I guess that's all the story we get. Yeah, you kill that, and that's pretty much it. There's nothing else really to it. I don't really know why they put that there, but you need to destroy it in order to proceed. Can't equip anything new now, so... Oh well, let's head down here. Yeah, there's usually... If there's only one on the entirety of the left side, you'll find one down here and one around there or something like that. Take that one. Alright.
Look out! They've been circling for hours.
Yeah, so if you talk to these guys, usually, like this one, I think it spawns like a whole bunch of birds or something like that, or whatever demon type those are. These guys are ranged fighters. They're kind of annoying. They do a reasonable amount of damage as well. But those poison guys, the whatever pestilence they are the most deadly enemy at this point. There are some enemies later that might be more annoying, but they're definitely one of them.
If only they could see me now.
Well, they could. We just have to go over there.
My siege weapons to slay you. You stand in the middle of the army of hell. It will crush you.
I cast your armies from the walls of the keep. I destroyed them upon the open field. You have nothing that I fear.
Pretty much, I just slaughtered your entire army right in front of your face. Yeah, so you take out 3 of the ballistae, and you take out the doohickey in the middle there, and you can proceed. You won't be able to proceed until you do this. There's another soldier over there. I'm not particularly interested. Sometimes they'll spawn special guys for you to fight as well.
I could no longer sit idly by while you brought the fight to Azmodan. It has been too long since I felt the thrill of battle myself.
Destroying my siege weapons makes little difference. Every forces pour forth from the mouth of hell. Soon, they will wipe your pathetic keep from existence.
Brave words, Asmodan. But words are all you have left to hurl at us. Forward, friend!
Very
now
true.
we shall drive Asmodan's army back into the accursed crater.
We worked hard enough to reforge your sword of justice. I look forward to finally seeing you wield it. Let us depart.
You honor us, Seraph.
Yeah, it's very beneficial that we actually get to, you know, fight alongside
Hell, demon spawn!
the great and mighty Angel or Archangel Tyrael, which would be beneficial except for the fact that as when Leo was in our party, he does crap for
I'm
damage
just a scout.
and is
I
not
was supposed to
important.
survey the battlefield from this tower along with my lieutenant, but we were attacked. I still have the spyglass here. Please, take it to my lieutenant. I don't know how long he'll be able to hold out up there.
This is a little side quest here. This one is very short and one of the ones I usually do along the way just because it takes about a minute to do and basically involves going up here. As you can see, there's an area there where someone's going to spawn, and here he is. He's a special guy, so let's just get him out of the way. He will almost always explode there, so beware of that.
scout? Is he still alive?
He is gravely wounded. You will have to continue your mission alone.
I see. Thank you for the news. I will tell his family.
Well, how nice of you. Yeah, so that one is very, very short and basically just involves you killing a special guy, so I usually do it for the drops and a little bit of experience as well. He's died in the meantime, if you notice there. And the bridge here is not too remarkable. There's not a lot you can do along the bridge, but there are a lot of enemies. This is another good point to
I'm carrying
kill
too
some
much.
enemies. Am I really? I am not. Though I am going to have to go back to town and salvage some of my junk here, so I'll do that and I'll be right back. Now you may find items, you know, like the ones I'm identifying off screen and salvaging 99% of, but some of them may actually be somewhat useful. Now, if you find something that's useful, then you're going to want to either sell it on the auction house or save it for a future character or whatever you want to do with it. And I don't know, the best way to do that, you know, when you're first playing the game, you basically take any rare item you have and you go to the auction house and there's an option to search about it. I'll show you once I'm done with this area. This area is not too long. But yeah, you search for, you know, other types of items like that, see what they're selling for,
If only they could
and
see
then
me
I
now.
usually try to undersell them by a little bit, just so that, you know, if someone's just looking for something quickly, they'll just choose the cheapest one, and then you'll get the money for it. And we can kill lots of these guys. There are
see
little
that enemy
areas
over
like
there?
there where you
Let us
can
cleanse
head
it
up,
from this
but,
land.
you know, most of them don't lead to
I am
special
so
guys,
good. I
and
astound
there's usually
myself.
not a point in going up to fight 2 enemies, which half the time they contain a couple of enemies, the other half of the time they contain nothing at all. Now there'll be a guy that'll spawn up here, so I'll just leave him there to deal with it.
Diligence has its reward.
Now I haven't found a legendary item yet, which is kind of unfortunate. I would like to show that off, because when you do have a legendary item drop in-game, it shows a little star marker on your mini-map. I just kind of wanted to show it off. But I haven't had a chance to find one yet, which is kind of unfortunate. Now here's an interesting little area.
Is this my blood?
Yes, it's your blood, shut up.
I can't breathe.
Yeah, if this door
Another
is open
senseless death.
when you get here,
I feel
there will
terrible.
be a special enemy in here. Not anything above what we've just been fighting, but there will be an enemy in here. If it's closed, there will be a merchant in there. And the merchant sometimes can have a rare item, like I mentioned before. But yeah, it's just a randomly generated rare enemy that you'll happen to meet up with here. Nothing particularly interesting. But yeah, you can go in there and kill him. It's not really a quest, but there's an extra enemy in there, and you don't have to go too far out of your way to get it, so. And as far as that, we're going to head up to the waypoint relatively shortly. This is the point in the game where
I am so good.
I'm surprised I haven't had to deal with it yet. But for some reason, you know, my graphics card should be able to handle this game, and does for the majority of the game. You know, if you notice my FPS meter down there, it's locked pretty solid at around 130 or so. It shouldn't have any problems at all, but for some reason in this particular bridge throughout the entire thing, I almost always get lag. And I get really, well, it's not lag, it's slowed down. There's frame rate dips. That's what it is, and it's, for whatever reason, it just seems to happen here. I'm assuming it has something to do with AMD's drivers, because I have an AMD card, but maybe it doesn't. Who knows? Turn that off. Anyway, here's the underbridge. This is another short little dungeon. I might as well show this off. The battle is ours. Well, we're not in a battle. What are you talking about there, Tyrael? Yeah, in here, you're likely to find 1 or 2 enemies, maybe a treasure goblin, and maybe a treasure chest. In this case, I'm finding jack shit, which is kind of unfortunate because I'd like to find something. There we go. Yeah, so another rare guy or champion pack you'll find in here. Nothing particularly special. And sometimes there will be treasure goblin laying around, just depending on your magic find, basically. You can knock these down too. They can deal some damage to your enemies if you so desire to use them. The other item, or the other thing in here is a chest, and I may or may not find one in this case. No, I got nothing. Oh well, but it's a short dungeon, so it's not usually... usually got a pretty similar layout to this. There's not a lot of variation in this. I think there's 2 or 3 of possible options.
You wield a singular magic, Irena. Who taught you?
The Prophet. He was alive in my era, but I do not know his fate.
The Prophet? I have heard that name before.
I have not heard that exchange before. I don't usually keep Tyrael around long enough for him to actually have any dialogue with my followers, but that's kind of an interesting note if you follow all of the Enchantress's storyline by talking to her at all the different points and having her communicate with other people. So anyway, here we are at the edge of the abyss.
Eldruin will destroy the demonic seal protecting this gate.
That's the name of his sword, if you were wondering. Apparently his sword is Mexican. I'm sorry, I was just kidding. Anyway, here we have the Siege Breaker, and you'll get kind of stuck in that attack. Here we have what are called watchtowers, and if you lead him around here, and then stand behind it, and wait for him to finally attack you, yeah, he'll knock them down. If you have him knock all 4 of them down, you'll get an achievement. But for the most part with this guy, he has this attack, and you'll get kind of locked up in his attack. He can also pick you up like this, and he, I guess, vomits on you. Acid vomit, I guess. He can charge. Are you going to charge? There we go. Yeah. He charges, does this attack, and you get kind of stun locked from it. And he's got big swipes, he's got a big stomp, which will stun you as well. And that's pretty much the extent of this boss. Other than that,
Yes! The beast is down!
we kill him.
Victory for the ages!
Not particularly. And here we have Adria.
I come with urgent news. Leah has had another vision. A vision of twisted demonic towers and enormous hearts beating within them.
I know of them. They are the Sin Hearts. Asmodan must have dredged them up from the depths of his realm to empower his legions.
Then I will be happy to stop them from beating.
And with that, Tyrael goes back to town, as does Adria.
The Demon Gate lies in ruins, while Asmodan has brought hell itself into the crater. I will destroy the Sin Hearts that bring unholy light to his armies, and then face the Lord of Sin himself.
Now, on your first playthrough, you go away. You won't be able to run through the game with the same speed as I have.
Now, you have my undivided attention.
Another demon. She will die like the rest of them.
Very true, but that will take a while. She will be annoying for a long time to come. Anyway, back to town, because that's pretty much a part. I wanted to show off the stuff in the auction house, so just leave here. It's probably a scene with Leah down there. I'll have to do that at the start of the next video. But yeah, if you go to the auction house, and in my case, I didn't salvage any of that junk, but I happened to find these during, you know, this video, and I found them when I was going back to town. I identified them. They're not horrible. They're not bad. They're actually better than the Kane's boots, though there's nothing I will want to equip that will interrupt my set bonus of giving me the extra experience, so I don't want to equip them right now. But if you feel like trying to selling them, just right click on them, search for similar. It'll input your lowest, like the level that the item is, and as your lower level in the range there, I usually drop that a bit and then raise it a bit, so it was 22, so 26, put it something in that range, and then remove things that aren't common. You know, chance to immobilize on hit, that's not particularly common. Movement speed, you want that in boots so you can move fast, though you may want to lower the amount so that you have more results available. Any stat that's too low is another good choice to lose. Let's see if we can find anything. Yeah, see, this is level 26 required, my boots are level 22, and while those are better, we have an idea of approximately what they're worth. You know, they could probably sell around the same if you decided to sell them. It's entirely up to you whether you'd want to sell the items you find anyway, but you know, that's kind of what you can do. If you're having trouble finding things, you can remove other things, like remove the strength there, and always go buyout first so you can see, you know, what's down here. Let's see, that's level 23, and that's relatively similar. So yeah, they're probably worth approximately 300,000. It's not too hard to find some relatively decent items. They're the one thing that a lot of people, well, I'm not sure if they know or not, but when you search for gear, you're going to find stuff that's level 60 way more often than anything else. So let's just go back. Okay, I'm gonna clear all this junk out of the way. But yeah, you're gonna find stuff that's level 60 a lot more often than you would if you were, you know, at any other level. So if I just randomly search boots, I'm at buyout. But if we go, say, armor, we're gonna find all the level 60 stuff. If you're, you know, on buyout, you know, it goes up and down. So lowest buyout, highest buyout obviously is a non-existent one. So, you know, these are all gonna have a lot higher buyouts, but they're also going to be higher levels. And these ones, even if you get some decent ones, regardless of whether it's boots or not, any item you get at level 60 is going to have an easier time selling at a lower price. Things you find in normal that are low level, say up to, you know, level 30 or so, those aren't going to sell as much off the bat, you know, but there is also a lot less of them flooding the auction house. So you could make some money by selling certain low level things. Perhaps, you know, I could go and sell some of my low level gear. You know, it's probably not worth a lot, but it's worth enough to definitely raise the amount of money you have, especially if you're playing for the first time. So if you go through some gear and say, you know, you upgraded to this from your Mage Fist, you happen to find some Mage Fist, you may want to try and sell your Mage Fist if you don't plan on making a new character for a while. You know, any item that you don't expect to use again, it's probably beneficial, if you're not going to use it and you would have otherwise salvaged it, if you think it might be worth something, check the auction house, see if it's worth something. Anyway, that's all the time I have for this episode of Let's Play Diablo 3. I almost said Illusion of Gaia. I almost did. I haven't played that in 2 weeks. Why would I think that? Anyway, that's all for this episode, and I'll see you guys next time.